Broadcasting live from the orbiting underground moon base, it's the LRRcast. I felt like we needed like a melody in there. It was all bass line.
I was hoping for you to come in.
Or like we could do the breakdown or something. I don't know how that would go.
I don't know. There's a new Aphex Twin album coming out, so I was trying to keep it simple so other people could layer on.
Anyway, this week we are here with myself, Paul, and also Kathleen, and Cam.
Hello.
Hi.
And Alex.
Hi.
I'm Cameron.
I'm not Cameron.
Damn right.
All right. Now that we've established that. So this week, obviously, we just got back from PAX.
Big PAX.
Woo!
PAX on PAX.
PAX
on PAX
Prime,
on
to be
PAX
specific.
We just got paxed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Straight PAX.
So actually, on that note, it looks like most of the crew got through largely unscathed in terms of horrible PAX pox.
A couple of us fell victim. I felt kind of fortunate because I dodged it this year.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I got sick last year.
You're like, surprise!
Because I was really sure that I was going to get sick, and then I didn't.
Well, Julie has come down with something.
Oh, and Beige and Heather are both sick.
So, Cam, did you actually get sick, or did you just feel like crap the whole weekend?
I just felt like crap the whole weekend, and I wound up with a really sore throat on Sunday, which had me very paranoid. But it turns out it was just from shouting for 3 days.
Hey!
Yeah, that's the thing, is you always think you're getting a sore throat, and you're like, no, I've just been talking loudly to people on the show floor and at our booth, and then at parties you just scream all night. There's always music. I didn't even go to that many parties.
Yeah, the telltale sign that really tilts me out is the sinus itch at the very back, and you're just like, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when
And
the
it's
back
such
of
a
your throat
tiny
is
thing,
itchy.
and you know exactly what it means.
And it begins.
Oh.
But yeah, otherwise by Sunday I think I was sounding a bit like Dio.
Somebody was talking to Graham afterwards, and they're like, ooh, we have the sultry post-PAX voice, nice and deep.
Yeah.
I did not get sick. James did not get sick. I have never gotten sick at PAX. I was sick at PAX last year with a sort of unrelated health issue, but even with that, I did not actually get sick, which is actually pretty impressive.
That's because you shower in antibiotics every day.
I don't.
You do.
I don't. No, I don't. I don't even use antibacterial soap. Don't use antibacterial anything, kids. That doesn't work and it's not good. Just wash your hands with plain old soap and water.
Yeah, I can't really
Or
emphasize that enough.
Yeah.
Like the sign in the bathroom that says employees must wash hands. No, that means you have to wash your own hands, not that the employees wash before you. Yeah. And I saw way too many dudes.
Just shake and go?
Yep.
Oh, no. Always wash.
Diphtheria outbreak at PAX.
Yeah.
Shriek.
Just like seriously, I never get sick in conventions. I don't use antibacterial anything. I don't even eat that well, but I wash my hands before I eat. I wash my hands before I go to the bathroom because you don't want to touch your bits with dirty bits.
Yep.
And,
I mean,
you don't.
There's solid advice from the second Alien movie. Nobody touch nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Never use the floor Oculus Rift.
Oh yeah. Apparently, there's a pink eye outbreak a couple years ago.
No.
Just stay away from enclosed, moist things. Is really the takeaway. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
like the show floor.
go ahead, Cam.
Oh no, I was just gonna say.
So, anyway.
Oh wait, I want to say one more thing. I wanted to thank Dana and a bunch of other LRR fans, but I know Dana is sort of the spearheading of this for all the wonderful gift bags that we got and all the candy.
Fantastic.
So good.
They had lovely notes and messages written on them, and we took them all home, and there was like Loading Ready Run pop in there with like all our faces on the bottle, and it was so nice, and less like candy and chocolate. And I think Graham may have stolen somebody else's chocolate bar because we have a couple of those.
I didn't get mine.
I wound up with a Jones soda
I feel that
or an extra Jones soda.
perhaps we had to sort of do some redistribution. Sorry, Alex, I think we may have eaten yours.
Son of a bitch.
Well, there's one over there.
It's mine.
Yeah,
Well, it's mine now. I don't know. We'll see.
Really, and like toys and things that we've flung at each other. And so I just wanted to say thank you guys so much. Oh, and of course, and a box of Conspiracy, which we are going to draft And
Gonna be a
maybe we'll use
derf.
that. Maybe we'll do that for like if we do another conspiracy live draft.
Oh yeah.
Instead of getting a box of conspiracy, we'll use that.
Well, we
box
have
of
one,
conspiracy.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
We'll just derfed it.
thank you guys so much. I just wanted to say thank you, and thank you to everybody who came by and said hi and brought us hats for Feed Dump and just like told us how happy they were to see us, and it was a very loving, supportive, wonderful weekend, and we can't thank you enough for making it awesome.
Yeah, it was a tremendously positive experience.
Yay, PAX!
Yay.
So, what? Okay, in terms of the actual PAX show, what did you see that made you most excited?
I got to see a bunch of like demos for games that I was kind of stoked about. I didn't get to play all of them, but I was glad to see people playing Bloodborne and people playing Alien Isolation, and it looking still pretty good.
Yeah.
I can imagine that the show floor would not be an ideal place to be playing Alien Isolation.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. They had like an isolation pod.
Oh, nice.
Where they would
Yeah.
stick you in and like this alien cocoon would close around you, and the guy would be like, "Good luck,"
Oh, great.
and then like 2 minutes later they'd be killed horribly.
I actually shrieked watching that demo.
Not
Good.
not by the game. The pod would
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
kill them
like,
It
horribly.
just continues to close in, right?
Yeah,
You get,
the
like,
Giger
a hero.
spines would just inject some sort of ichor into your body, and you would just decay.
Yeah, I appreciate that commitment to realism.
Yep.
Well, that's
That was-
what
it
everybody
was-
wants from Alien.
It was an immersive
Yeah,
experience.
they just open it again. It's just like, where did the previous person go? It's like, don't worry about it. They
Yeah.
exited the other side.
the other side.
The other side.
They exited through the drain in the bottom.
I did not play a lot of games. That's part of my don't get sick at PAX thing is don't touch too many controllers. It's a good system. I tell you what, I never get sick.
Well, I mean, more. I guess not necessarily demo, but like things that you actually like saw or were announced or whatever.
Yeah.
All the cons of Tarkir stuff looked
Yeah,
good.
the cons party was actually fun. I was really waffling on going because last year I think I showed up late because it took forever to get past the bouncers, and by the time I got in there, there was a crush. There was no food left. It sucked. But this year we got in early and we had our VIP passes and our sort of like refuge that we could hide in, and I got to see everything, and it was sweet, and there was food, and hooray!
yeah.
And Snaplands reprints.
The-
I mean, Fetchlands reprints.
The Wizards party, for those of you who don't go to PAX, is one of the hottest PAX party invites.
Yeah.
Like that is the desirable because there is tons of free food. There was tons of free food this year, and
It's all good too.
Yeah.
it's well catered. There's a bunch of spoilers and stuff if you care. Like we got to see them unveiling the new Fetch Lands, and I got to hear people cheering. And I think it's funny that you're like, and I had an area that I could hide in, but immediately I like get out of there and
Yeah.
I want to go into the dance floor and dance. Like that is my jam. I go there and usually with the same group of like girls. Like Tally and Ashley and my friend Amanda
Bust a move.
and Tifa, and we just go out and we're just like woo because it is like a slammin' club. It is actually really fun.
Yeah.
I remember going to the first party we went, the Innistrad party was the first one we went to, and it's like set up like a club, except you start noticing little things like there's like a bowl full of land for drafting on little on tables, and so they'll be like it'll be like people dancing, and then a bunch of people like crowded around on like the ridiculously tiny little club tables like playing Magic.
Yeah, like the VIP lounge had a bunch of like dual packs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Starter
And
decks.
they also really go like all out on the decor. Just trying to match it to the theme of the set. I think the best one was probably Return to Ravnica.
Yeah. Where they had all kind of like the
I
different
mean, they had
neighborhoods.
cage dancers for the Rakdos area.
Yeah.
Which
I
was
thought it
bonkers.
Totally sweet.
Well, it was kind of funny because you had these like nerds gawking at these spoilers with these people gyrating right next to them being largely ignored.
It's like, could you please dance to the left a little bit?
Yeah.
You can't see the card
But,
behind
like,
you.
The Rakdos cage dancer dude was like really intense.
He was super into it.
Yeah.
I feel that you don't end up as the kind of person who does cage dancing because you're embarrassed to be cage dancing.
I feel like that's embodying the Rakdos spirit,
Yeah, exactly.
getting into it.
But yeah, so as it turns out, you feed us, take us to a party, pump us full of liquor, and we'll endorse your product. Just saying.
Yeah. Yep.
Also, it's a fun party.
Yeah.
I didn't even have that much booze.
Yeah, well, I mean, like because there are theme drinks based on each
each
clan
each clan, and the absinthe drink
was awful.
Oh, really? What was it?
Yeah, it was gin,
Sweet vermouth, and chartreuse, and apparently those were all like mixed evenly, and like I like chartreuse, and the rest of it's kind of like a martini. So I thought, hey, this could be interesting. I looked at that and said, that is the kind of drink I would literally enjoy drinking.
Yeah, and then the orange bitters.
About an inch of them.
Yeah, about an inch of them.
Whoa.
And yeah, like the absinthe are said to be unkillable in the lore, and they need to be with drinks like that. Because,
Yeah, no, and I had one, and then you'd get there, and people would go to the bar, and I mean, the drinks were expensive, but lots of people were ordering drinks, and lots of people were ordering, the themed drinks. And if you do not like super sweet drinks, you are going to gravitate to the absinthe.
Yeah.
Because it's the kind of thing I like to drink. Because like the Saltai one was a Moscow Mule, I think.
and then the
Jeskai one was like a twist on a White Russian, but with blackberry liqueur.
Yeah.
It was really good.
But kind of like a boozy milkshake, right?
Yeah, it was the kind of thing you have one of. Like, I saw a bunch of people, I knew a couple people who were driving, like our friend Mike was driving, so he had one drink, being a responsible person, and he had that. And he was like, that's good, it's dessert too. Right? So a lot of people were getting that. And so I was trying to warn people. I was like, you don't want to get this drink.
Yeah, no. And everyone was like, challenge accepted.
I was like,
no,
no.
Just don't.
So
I had people coming up to me afterwards and saying, that drink was really bad. And I'm like, I tried to tell you. And they're like, but you didn't say it was actually like really bad. And
It's like, yes, I did.
yeah, if you go back to see the replay of this conversation, I said those exact words.
That I'm not joking here. I'm warning you because you are my friend is a phrase I believe I used and then was ignored.
So the takeaway here is that the cons of Tarkir, while peerless fighters, may not be the best choices in terms of alcohol.
Yeah,
they're kind of weird lightweights in terms of alcohol.
Yeah, they might not have terribly sophisticated. It reminds me of that bar bill that circulated after the Bruins won the cup against Vancouver, where it was just like, bottles of Cristal and then vodka ices or Smirnoff ices, and you look at it and think these guys have literally all the money in the world, and they just won like the premier prize for the sporting. Oh right, they're 19.
Also, a large portion of it is going to be sprayed on each other, so they want to make sure that.
So sticky.
So yeah, like maybe the cans of Tarkir are not the most don't have the most sophisticated taste when it comes to like cocktails.
That's okay.
Of course, nobody is willing to correct them because they'll rip you up.
It's like, you know what? I'm going to drink a horse.
Being a cocktail enthusiast, though, I was able to go to one of the multitudinous bars, go up to the bartender and do a quick look and say, "Hey, can I have a Negroni?" And he looked at me and he's like, "Yes, I can make that for you."
Oh, wow.
That's not something that people ask for because I just wanted a sipping drink, right? I wasn't looking to get hammered. And then I came back and he was just like, "Do you want another?" He remembered me immediately because not many people know what's in a Negroni and know to look for the ingredients. But yeah, the absinthe drink probably just should have been that.
Yeah.
It would have been really similar but palatable.
Yeah. Otherwise, the only game that was really on the floor that I wanted to play that I didn't or wasn't able to play or see was Below, which made me a bit sad because I didn't even find out it was on the floor until the last day.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that were pretty well hidden. Among them, the Cards Against Humanity booth. Which
experience.
Oh, wow. That was pretty great.
Were they actually like deliberately hiding it?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a secret, literally a secret entrance underneath the escalators with, some people standing at the front just being like, come on in. And you go into a very long draped hallway.
Like ludicrously long.
That goes on and on and on. And Kate and I went here and we're like, we're going to get killed or there's going to be some sort of jump scare in here or just something weird.
Yeah, it took like a couple of minutes. It was like a twisting path.
It was just like it sort of wound its way through the catacombs of the convention center and it had like a sign that said like, this hall's really flipping long, isn't it? And into a basement, around a corner, into this like cavernous room that had nothing but cards merchandise and the entire like crew at like this big towering panel doing signings and
The best part.
And the best part, doing custom cards for people. Like, I think the idea was that they would make fun of you as you were moving through the line and give you a card themed on that. But I think they were also taking requests.
You just had like a card printer machine.
Yeah,
there?
you'd come back in 30 minutes and they would give you a custom printed card.
Well, it changed from 30 minutes into a couple of hours because the volume on that, the line, at a lot of times was like an hour-long wait to get this. But it was awesome. Like, you would go and you would say, like, I talked to David Monk. And I actually met him when we were doing Tabletop Deathmatch, and we were both talking about how we both like sports, but not for the sporting aspect, but because we like the business decisions and the economics behind sports. Like, yeah, I know, I'm really boring. I think it's interesting, right? Because it's not necessarily a necessary thing for society, but people think it's very important, and there's a lot of money behind it. But so I got the card being absolutely fascinated by contract negotiations, which I think actually is pretty good for me.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Julie got a card that said a bag of holding that holds only dongs.
That's pretty good. Sarah got Sarah Mendy YOLO, which is our nickname for her.
If I had thought to go to the booth, I would have gotten one that said the uncontrollable urge to vomit into a baby carriage.
Oh, Kim, the world's a little worse off than that.
You can get those like blank cards that you can just write stuff on.
It's not the same.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
It was actually like printed.
It's like, this is you got a real Cards Against Humanity card.
It's super sweet.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I didn't tell anybody what it was like. I was like, have you seen the Cards Against Humanity experience?
You tell them where it was and say no, not a word more.
Yeah, I refused because it's really fun to go down there for the first time. So a lot of people were like, right? But that was really sweet. I really enjoyed the Indie Mega Booth.
I was going to say.
There's a game called Rockets, Rockets, Rockets.
Oh, yeah.
Did
it have lots of rockets?
It's a 1 to 4 player game, and you're basically fighting. It's really hard to explain, but it's on Steam and it's not expensive, so just go check it out. It's just like a dogfight game where you're controlling these rockets and you're shooting other rockets at each other, but the movement's very swoopy and you leave lines behind it, and so it's got this tremendously sort of fun control scheme where it's like it's controlled but a little out of control. The same way a go-kart is fun to drive.
Oh, okay, because the handling's actually kind of shitty.
I would say loose, soft,
there you
but
go.
Not in a bad way, in a wee kind of way.
Oh boy, this is just barely under my control.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Sort of an unrestrained fun, and it'd be fun. A drawing game.
I dropped by the Indie Mega booth as well. I briefly got to play Salt and Sanctuary, which is from Ska Studios, who did Vampire Smile and a couple other games, the names of which have escaped me. But it's a Dark Souls side-scroller.
Awesome.
That's all I need to say about it. Like, that. It's almost literally, that's exactly what it is. And I'm like, sweet. Love it. So I'm looking forward to playing that. Yeah, it's good. Any of you guys play anything else while you're there?
No, because, I missed the Firaxis panel, which made me sad.
I didn't get to go to any panels. I mean, like, I had designs to do so, but then I just never got around to it.
There's too much to do at PAX.
Yeah.
Although, like, the Wizards panel was really cool. The world building panel for Tarkir was pretty sweet, but we can talk about that in the other podcast, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, mostly at PAX, I think most of us just I caught up with some friends. I went to lunch. I got all of the puzzle pieces via Street Pass.
Sweet.
So I went a little crazy, and I spent a lot of time in the Nintendo Lounge collecting those. And just walked the show floor and saw cool stuff and just let it wash over me. It was really fun.
It's pretty good. Hey, I'll tell you what I didn't miss was the late night dub fight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
They put us in a smaller room than last year, and it was really bad because our line filled up early.
They had to turn 50 people away.
They had to turn, people turned away because the line for it was capped half an hour before the panel started. But they made the line, no fault of the enforcers, the line cap was wrong, and they had too many people in line. So there's a bunch of people lined up and then couldn't get in anyhow. So yeah, there's 50 people at the end of the line.
Well, I mean, at least they know that we're popular now.
Well, I think next year we need to say, hey, bigger room blocks. This is very popular. There is definitely a need for non-concert based entertainment on like a Sunday or a Saturday evening. Yeah, it was Sunday.
Actually, you know what? Forget the concert. Just you guys go into the concert place. Late night dub fight.
I don't know about that.
In the Benny Royal Hall.
But we could we were in the Sandworm, and we could easily have been in the Sphinx. But that's
for all the sense that makes to someone who wasn't there.
If you were there, you get that. All right. We should move on with Ask Lur.
Yes.
We have some questions.
So we asked for questions on the Twitters,
Yes.
and we shall endeavor to answer them.
Chris Miller says, this is a magic question. Given infinite dollar bills or coins, as it were, so money is no option,
Okay.
what deck do you build?
Oh.
High Tide?
Shardless Bug, maybe? I mean, if money was no object, actually, I don't even know if I would want to build a vintage deck.
Yeah.
Because, like, I had the chance to play Proxy Vintage recently, and, like, that format's bonkers.
Yeah.
It's just, like, I think it's cool, but it's just way too high-end, like, not just in terms of cost, but actual gameplay. That format is insane.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I suppose if you're going to give me infinite dollars, I might, just for the novelty of having a vintage deck, want to play it, but I'm not certain it's the format for me.
I think
maybe
I would-
something like that
Yeah.
Talran Gush deck.
Yeah, I would probably just build, like, a legacy deck that I want to build.
Yeah.
And maybe pimp it out. Actually, yeah, I could build like the rest of Zombie Bombardment with beta lands.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Also,
Yeah,
I don't actually like foils anymore, which is interesting. So I could save some.
I've
dosh
never
there.
liked foiling out my decks. Like, I understand why people do it, but
Oh yeah, I think it's
it's
really
too shiny.
I really like foils.
Too
so
shy.
I don't know.
foil miracles.
I
Foil
think
miracles.
Miracles seems like a sweet deck.
Yeah.
Experience the freedom of absolute control.
Yep. Well, there you go.
I like
One of my
the-
favorite phrases.
I like the idea of just taking like a regular deck and just making it really, really expensive by like putting in, beta land and putting in like all the most expensive version of every
Well,
card.
I mean, if
Yeah.
money's no object,
just
that's
to
what
be,
you do.
just to be like, haha, look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this Black Lotus I'm proxying to be a forest.
yeah, that you've actually just written forest across.
Yeah. Or just like a piece of tape on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so funny to do.
Troll deck.
Oh.
All right, Paul wins. Lemmy Getton asks, what was the first video that Lur got paid for?
That's a
Got-
Paul question.
The one that first one we got paid for, like other than like ad revenue, I guess. Let's see here. Let's see, like the nunchuck one and stuff. Those got on a couple of different TV programs and websites and stuff that paid us like a couple $100.
But weren't we doing like paid content before that?
Not
But-
really.
I mean, obviously the first like gig we had was Unskippable, but in terms of like individual videos, I feel like might be one that we had done. Where, we had stuff on TV, but it was usually on like news programs where they don't actually pay you for the content. They just like, can we use this? Great. Yeah, geez.
I mean, it could just actually be the first video to air on The Escapist.
Yeah, that's probably
Might be
it.
the answer.
It's probably an unskippable then. Unskippable.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cybrin, aka Justin, says, why do you read people's Twitter name rather than their handle when saying who asked the question? I do it because sometimes I don't know how to pronounce people's Twitter handles. Cybrin I know because I know
Usernames.
Justin.
Usernames are extremely especially now that we're doing all the streaming and like giving subscriber shout outs and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, what?
It's a peculiar world we live in.
Phonetic new usernames. That should be a thing.
It's weird getting like introduced to people who give you their handle and you're like, oh, now I know who you are.
Yeah. But that's weird.
It is weird. Do you want me to just continue calling you that, or
Well, and then I forget people's names. Like, we met Anubis169 at the LoadingReadyRun at LurkCon, but now I can't remember his real name.
well, it's like none of us call Fugi Chris.
No. Or call Pika Kelsey.
Oh yeah.
actually,
oh
we were
God.
talking to...
Right, she has a name.
For a long time, I didn't know what Fugi's actual name was.
Yeah.
But that's I think that's fine if that's.
I mean,
Like-
it's the same for Beej. We don't call him Brendan,
no, but he doesn't go
Probably-
by Brendan.
exactly.
Unless he's at work, right? That's
but it is still a nickname. It's not a contraction of like, I don't know. It's not like I don't know, Bob or Ed
mean,
or something like that.
well,
Especially
I
if your username is like something that is kind of like a name, I guess. Like if your username is like Poon Hunter 45.
I'm not going to call you Pooh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I might just call you Jared.
Like I
Call
will,
you Josh.
I'll endeavor to use whatever name you introduce me as, or introduce yourself to me as. But like with Twitter, I'm not certain. Do I use the handle or do I use the name? Because the name is what, like, you have both fields, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So your handle is kind of what is used, but your name is, I assume, what you want to be called.
Yeah.
All right.
Mystery.
Next. Toothpaste Laser says, what is the state of Fringe theater in Victoria and Vancouver and your connections to it? Victoria and Vancouver have a pretty thriving Fringe community, and good friends of Loading Ready Run and frequent video guest appearer, Missy, is really involved in the Fringe community. Her husband Dave was actually the best male Fringe performer and pick of the Fringe this year for Fringe 2014 in Victoria.
Oh, wow, for his improvised Chuck Palahniuk.
Yes, which is not a show I would like to see, but I realize that would be very popular with a lot of people.
I haven't seen Fringe shows in forever. Maybe even since
Fringe always overlaps with PAX.
And I mean and in addition to the Fringe, like the organization that runs most of the Fringe stuff in Victoria anyway also does other stuff throughout the year. So they don't just do the Fringe. Like, there's also like there's I think it's Uno Festival, like which is just all one person shows and stuff. So the Victoria does have actually quite a dynamic theater. Victoria's theater community is, I wouldn't say it's huge, but it's extremely
Robust.
Yeah, well, and very gung ho. And so, like, if theater is something that you are interested in, something you want to support, there's a lot of options in Victoria.
Small but healthy.
But you do see the same people show up over and over again.
You know what?
Because they're really talented.
I just had a weird realization. I don't think I've seen a Fringe show since I was in one. Do you remember Circus the Musical?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in that.
Wow.
Like,
And
50 hojillion years ago.
yeah, I tend to only. Yeah, I mean, the Fringes are one of those things where it's always like, oh yeah, that I should get to that.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I feel the same way about like the film festivals. I'm like, oh cool, I'm not going to.
The problem with those festivals is even like obviously the Fringe is longer than PAX, but Fringe overlapping with pre-PAX and then during PAX means that we usually don't have the time to go to a Fringe show because it is literally in our crunch week before we leave because we're getting everything busy.
Yeah. But and of course the Loading Ready Run did a Fringe show way back in 2005.
Was that Loading Ready Live?
Yeah,
and that was the
Loading
event
Ready.
that crystallized sort of you being a comedy.
Yeah,
troupe.
so that was very much a very important part of Loading Ready Run history, I guess. Although, we obviously have a bunch of friends who are in the theater community in town here, but Loading Ready Run doesn't really, we don't actually, connect up with the theater community in Victoria a huge amount, just because we're sort of primarily online. And so, our requirements and how we produce stuff is quite a bit different from how most people, we do it every week and we're doing multiple stuff and things. And so as opposed to a theater production where you're working for a long period of time towards one specific show. So it's just a little bit different.
Well, all right. Moving on. Game Badger, handle Game Badger 1, says, Loading Ready Run, you get to make a LRR arcade fighting game. What are your powers / stages / soundtracks? So you don't have to pick all three, but you can think what kind of character you would have and what kind of stage you would appear on.
I would definitely be a character like Faust from Guilty Gear. The one that, the wacky one that does all the bizarre props coming out of hammer space kind of thing.
I've never actually played fighting games really, so I don't know quite what the archetypes are.
I mean, it depends. There's a lot of different sort of genres and subgenres. There's some that are all really straight up, and then the sort of 2D ones that have crazy amounts of stuff happening on the screen. And
I want to be. I don't know if this has been done. It's probably been done in some thing, but I want to be when you choose Paul as your fighter, and then you actually go into the thing. What actually comes in and fights is like a robot, but in the background there'll be like me like working a control panel.
Okay, I like that.
no matter, regardless of what stage it is, there'll always be like Paul in the background working a control panel, but the actual thing that's doing the fighting is like a big robot.
I dig it.
I'm not a super fighting game expert, but I feel that I would be like a physical type fighter, like lots of big like punches and kicks and stuff like that. Just so it wouldn't be ridiculous. But my stage would be like a palace filled with cats, right?
Well, I was thinking you could have like it could be one of those like tag team things where you could like tag in like Cavern and
Baxter.
And Baxter would like
Kathleen
jump in and attack people.
Exactly. Like they would you couldn't hurt them. They'd just come in for assist moves.
My guess was going to be a Boards of Canada concert.
Oh,
on the stage as they play.
No, that's Boards of Canada, as much as I love them, are not appropriate for a fighting game. Maybe
that would also be not appropriate for one of their concerts.
Maybe some Aphex Twin music.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, just something a little bit more upbeat.
The entire crowd is just that guy's face.
Yeah.
I think that'd be an alternate. No, I want the Palace of Cats.
Yeah, Cat Palace is pretty strong.
Like, maybe, I don't know, were Doc Strange or the Surfer in Marvel vs. Capcom?
Maybe?
Probably.
Whatever they did.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I could, yeah.
Surfer's definitely in there.
Okay, awesome. Deal. How does anyone beat Surfer? You know what? Actually, that's probably not.
Don't even worry about it. You
They
can beat
punch him.
Hulk. Right?
Yeah.
You can punch out Hulk
Right.
in these games.
Yeah, the Joker can beat up on Superman.
Except
in Injustice. They worked out like a whole like storyline why that makes sense, sort of.
Sure.
It's funny.
Don't even worry about it. I wish
Don't
Adam
even
was
worry
here,
about
though.
it.
Adam, actually, both Adams that we know are both really good at Marvel vs. Capcom.
Well,
Brian McGee, aka Brico Brasse, says, "Loading Ready Run. If you were Mardu, what would your war name be?" And Mardu's the Rug Clan, right?
No,
Mardu is red, white, black. It
Right.
didn't really have a name before this, like maybe Oros.
Yeah.
Because everything else had like Rug, Junk, Angel Fire, Bug.
Yeah.
And
or
then
Angel Fire, Patriot America.
Yeah, or Team America. And then just like Red, White, Black never really had a nickname because there wasn't really a deck for it.
Yeah, I've heard Oros, I've heard Schnitzel.
Well, that Schnitzel is what we made up at Yellow Jacket.
Okay.
But our war name for Mardu?
Yeah.
What's a war name? I don't know what that is. Is that the cons thing?
Well, yeah, I guess so. Like,
It would probably just be like, ah!
yeah, like I assume Helm Smasher is the war name of the clan leader or the Khan, right?
I can't
like
remember what his name
Dick
is, actually.
Kicker.
Helm Smasher.
Helm Smasher?
Yeah.
No. I would be... I don't know. I wouldn't be in the Mardu clan. That's not my style.
Yeah, it doesn't. It suits me to a T because like I've always wanted those three colors to be a thing, and now I have cards coming out that are playable. They're playable, Kathleen. I'm so stoked.
I'm
Raid is the best.
I feel
Yeah,
like
like
I
the
would be in the
handy
Sultai.
I don't know. Mine would probably be like the passive aggressive, the page turner.
Yeah.
The singular raised eyebrow to let you know the depth of his disappointment.
The snide remarker. I love it.
The guy we threw out of the clan.
Yeah, it's like we feel like you're not really fitting in with this clan.
Yeah. Have you considered alternate like career paths?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'd really fit in with the Mongol horde.
Nicholas McDonald, whose Twitter name
Hi,
is cut
Nick.
off. It's Nicholas MC1.
I know who that is.
Says, "What was your favorite thing at PAX Prime?"
Oh, we already kind of talked about
Is he
that.
trying to bait me into saying
Screen
seeing
sheet?
screen sheet? Sure.
let's say screen sheet.
I'll do that. It was good to meet you, Nick, and it was good to play screen sheet, and I'm very happy for you.
Yay.
We actually did like screen sheet. Don't consider that sarcastic and
But for serious, screen sheet is sweet.
Is there
I'm
somewhere?
glad-
Is there somewhere where people can find out info about that? Is it?
It's on Steam.
Is it like out now, or is
Yeah.
it on early access?
It should
or-
be out. Like I'm pretty sure it's been released.
Screen
Alright.
sheet, all one word.
Yeah, all one word screen sheet.
Cool.
Nice and simple to remember. It's if you liked GoldenEye, you'll probably dig this.
Yeah, work with the medium, not against it.
Temple of Deceit, aka Josh Temple. Nice. Says, "Loading Ready Run, future travel / convention plans. We don't have any travel plans for the rest of 2014, but we're thinking about maybe going to PAX South in 2015. Because it's pretty close. So we'll have to
Texas,
see.
isn't it?
That's in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
Aren't plane tickets out there relatively cheap?
Yeah, this is pretty cheap. I've been to Austin past 2 years to go to a trivia contest, and it's never cost me more than like $600 round trip.
Nice.
And I've always bought my tickets kind of last minute too, because I'm a scrub. Like you get them considerably cheaper if you bought them
Interesting.
better. All right. Short round 2099, aka David says, what sort of projects would you be working on in the future now that the year of LRRR is coming to a close? I'm saying we're not going to talk about that right now because Graham's not here, and also we still have so much stuff to get through for the year of LRRR. So don't even worry about it.
And if we had some sort of awesome projects that we were working on, we wouldn't tell you. It would be secret.
Top secret.
Foxmar 320, aka Chris, says, has anyone in the crew ever done voice work for a game before? I asked because of A&G's recent work with Screensheet.
Graham and I
Previously to
did
that?
voice work for Lily's game. Her
Her final project?
yeah, the where you're like jumping on the platforms and stuff, which was super fun. And I think the voice work turned out really well. The only problem with it is that I wanted to like play it and be like, hey, that's sweet, I can hear myself talking, but it's so hard that I couldn't actually get that far. I was like, I want to hear the stuff further along, and it's hard. Or I'm just not very good at it. But that is, I don't think we've done anything. I think Screensheet is probably the biggest thing.
Could be. But yes, by the way, myself and Graham do voices for that game. So if you needed additional incentive to play Screensheet, there it is.
At Matt Mitchell says, factoring in hassle, weather, quality, uniqueness of shots, etc., what is your favorite season to... And he says Phil, but I think he means film. Film outdoor lure content. And I'm going to have to say summer, because sure, it's hot, but we got good light and it lasts all day. And
Summer's actually pretty good because it's fairly mild in Victoria.
Yeah, the big thing is, it's definitely summer, because it's the two big things is it doesn't not raining, it rains less, and we actually have light long time.
Yeah, like
But,
spring will do in a pinch.
I prefer summer and fall because fall is also dry. Like spring is wet in Victoria.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
probably the rainiest of all the seasons, honestly, is spring.
So, and because we're brilliant that way, we almost always schedule our shoots such that all our night stuff we do, all the stuff that happens late or inside, we do during the summer. And then once winter comes around, we start being like, we should do more outside shooting.
Well, it's just because we want
Because we're
sunshine,
dumb.
because we're starting to miss the outdoors. All right. Ooh, here's a good question. Zed Regulus, a.k.a. Gerald, says, at Loading Ready Run, what, now pick one, don't do each. What is one book or film or album you think everyone should experience?
Oh, jeez.
It's a good question, though.
With Nail and I. It's a movie. Watch it. It's like the best buddy film ever made. It's actually, like, you can use it as a barometer to tell whether or not you can be friends with people.
Really?
I'm mostly kidding. But it's
partially serious.
It's really good.
I would have to say a play called Arcadia. I really love it. It's witty and funny and touching and deep.
Paul?
I mean, I've talked about it in my list of favorite movies, but the really awesome comedy, The Imposters, with Stanley Tucci and Oliver Platt. It is available on Netflix right now, so you should watch it. It's this ridiculous farce, and I don't know quite what it is. Like the reason why I say it as opposed to other movies that I really like is that it's. I don't think a lot of people have seen it because I don't think it was very popular.
Yep.
But it's one of these movies that like I just every time I watch it, I'll like notice something new or just like some other little weird joke or just some way that it, inflection on a certain thing or whatever. But incredibly brilliant. Also written and directed by Stanley Tucci.
Sweet.
So.
I'm also gonna cheat and slam in Jodorowsky's Dune here.
Oh, yes.
Which I figured you would second that motion.
But yeah, just a fascinating documentary.
Oh, man.
And you also get to hear Dan O'Bannon tell the story about how he totally didn't know that Jodorowsky slipped him DMT.
And you get to hear Giger talk.
Yeah, and
Well, I
he
mean,
sounds
croak.
He sounds like if you took what's Undertaker's promoter's name? Paul Bearer. If Paul Bearer smoked a pack every 6 hours for 40 years, he would sound like Giger.
Oh my God, we're such
That's
assholes.
He sounds
We'll
like you.
we'll miss you, Giger.
Yeah.
considering
we will miss you.
the rather, the somewhat lacking quality in, most of the Dune reproduction, like most of the Dune, the big movie that came out,
Right.
and also the miniseries was still kind of
Not great. Yeah.
Yeah, it may be like the best movie
Version of Dune.
of Dune, even though it's not actually Dune.
Like
it's about how it didn't
really
happen.
hope they do a comic or an animation or like something with that book.
It kind of
'Cause it's
almost
done.
turned into the Incal.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they used a lot of that. We should probably just do a podcast just about that movie because we
All
talk
right.
about it all the time.
Yeah.
You should do that for your characters commentary.
Before we
Ooh.
kick in,
That'd be weird.
I am gonna. I am going to recommend a book because it's a really good book. I just had to make sure I got the name of it right because I'm a scrub. But I recommend you read The Silent Cry by Kenzaburo Oe, which is
Ooh.
a really devastating book, but it's really good. I don't even like books that are usually that sad because, but it's really good. It's really well written.
Is that a good place to get into OA?
Yes, that's.
Okay.
I think it's one of his most highly regarded books. I think it might have been the one that got him the Nobel Prize for Literature. He is a Nobel Prize winning author, so all of his books are good. But you would like it. It's just devastating.
Yeah. He's one of the authors that I keep seeing recommended to me, and then I always forget about.
His books are real heavy though, so you kind of have to be in the right mindset.
I can do that.
Get an ebook
to go
of it.
through.
Much later.
No. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about an album since everybody else talked about films and books. So I'm just going to say The Campfire Headphase by Boards of Canada. Get some good headphones and listen
Put
to
it in your ears.
It is a concept album of a sorts. And
Some
it is
traditional Canadian music.
Lovely. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Elliot Magan, aka Elliot Wilson, says at Loading Ready Run, Lava Bears Deets forthcoming.
Forthcoming.
But very soon.
It'll happen.
Yeah, by the time this podcast goes up, actually,
We'll probably have recorded our first session,
yeah.
or we'll be close to it. I will tell you that we're using the 5th edition rulebook. We are rolling up some truly fun characters. It's really, really refreshing because we're obviously in the 5th edition playtest. And so we were using because we were playtesting it, we were using very generic characters. Like they're like, just, we just want to get the rules right. So don't do anything wacky. Here's an elf wizard. Here is like, a human paladin. Here's like a halfling rogue, like blah, blah, blah. They're very straightforward sort of like character frameworks we started from.
Character archetypes.
Yeah. So I am now rolling up. I will tell you, it's a drow wild magic sorcerer because we still need a magic user. But why be a regular magic user when I can have wacky effects happen? That seems perfect for Temple of Lava Bears.
All right.
So there's some deets for you. All right. Tim's Martini says, how do you pick character names while writing? I always find that to be the hardest part.
Oh, it's such a pain in the ass.
That's something that I have a lot of problems with. About 3 or 4 years ago, I figured out a system that I continue to use now, which is I go to IMDb and I look up either like a current movie or any random movie, and then just look through the names of the cast and pick out either someone's name or like a first name from someone and last name from somebody else or whatever. And that's
a great idea.
That's the best way that I've found, because coming up with names in scripts is a huge pain in the butt.
It sucks. That's a good answer. Moving on. Phoenix Melior says, how has Kathleen's B-Day been treating her? We are in fact recording this on my birthday. My birthday's doing good. Feeling good. Gonna get some coffee after this. Birthday coffee. That's right.
I didn't know you were leveling up.
Yes.
We'll give you the bumps.
Yeah, one more year closer to my inevitable death.
Yay!
Another candle on the cake, burning brighter.
Foosh.
Aiden Linder, otherwise known as AA_Linder, What are some can't miss destinations for a vacation to Victoria? It depends what you want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could just go for the like bog standard kind of touristy crap. It's like,
Yeah, do you want to go up to Standish and look at plants?
Good.
I like Butchart Gardens, though.
Yeah, that's a really good recommendation.
Beacon Hill Park is pretty good. I mean, the whole Inner Harbor is, a sort of tourist haven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if you're coming to Victoria, don't come to Victoria for like the nightlife.
No.
No, because
Victoria
you
has a very certain, where it's a very pretty city, lots of, it's right by the water, and there's
Lots of good food.
there's good food. You can go on like whale watching. You can do, visit all sorts of really nice gardens around, that kind of stuff. If that's what you're looking for, we got that. But just so you know,
Yeah.
if you want to go and go clubbing,
Or you
Victoria
wanna
might
go,
not
like,
be the
Don't
best
come
place.
here.
to go.
Shopping, don't come here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But,
we recently got an H&M that's just like on the internet.
But we have really good restaurants. There's some really good restaurants. Lots of really good local beer. If you like local beer, you can go to local
Right,
breweries.
yeah.
You can go and like taste stuff there. There's bars. If you do like beer that specialize in serving local and hard to find beer, two that come to mind are the Drake and the Churchill. If you like cocktails, we actually have, and this is something I can really speak to, an incredible cocktail scene. Because when I was I was traveling, I was like, all I want is a frickin' aviation. I want a nice cocktail. And an aviation, for those of you who don't know, is a classic cocktail from the 20s. I can literally walk to 3 bars that will make me an aviation if I go up to the bar and say, I want an aviation. I could not get one in Seattle. So, and I could not get one in Indianapolis, even though it said, we have a fully stocked cocktail bar.
Maybe with Boeing being in Seattle, maybe they just got confused when you asked them for aviation.
Yeah.
They're like,
I mean, there are
you want an SR-71?
There are
I don't
definitely bars in Seattle that will serve you an aviation, but I feel that the bars that do places that do cocktails in Victoria have a more significantly stocked cocktail bar than most other places. So if you
More knowledgeable staff.
if you like your booze,
So if you want to get
Also-
those cons of Tarkier cocktails on
Yeah.
your own,
Also, assuming you're a fan of the site and possibly of our works, the sort of Nerd Alley is probably a good place to hit because there's Yellow Jacket, Legends Comics, and Curious, and
Games Workshop.
Games Workshop.
Yeah. So you go to Yellow Jacket for your Magic cards, Legends for your comics, and you talk to Gareth.
Yep.
And
Man, that
Curious for
guy.
your gaming needs. And then go and marvel at the closed Games Workshop store.
Yep.
Because it is never open.
that's open during regular business hours.
no, not really. They take weird breaks.
Yeah.
Well, that's not. It's working for them. Anyhow, Rose Nightshade says to everyone, Dear Dr. Ziller, what was the most positive or interesting, funny experience you had at PAX this year? I think we already answered this, but I'm going to say the wonderful treatment from all our wonderful fans was so lovely and made me so happy.
Can I just throw one in here? Meeting the guy who did the Hey Yeah, the He-Man song. I met that guy. It was bonkers.
Baller.
Yeah.
Sosa Star says, not really a question, but your ALS video was far and away the best I've seen. Plus, Alex's scream was amazing. So there you go.
Good job, Alex.
That ice was cold. Also, are we going to release the blooper? Because that was the second take.
Yeah.
Because James screwed up the first time. He didn't call cut.
He just said stop.
He
and
said
we're
stop as Beej was lifting the bucket because we had flubbed a couple of our lines. And he was the one who was supposed to pull the trigger on cutting. But there's a point of no return where the cue is, if you dodge that bullet, then I get soused. And as soon as I'd finished that line, he was like, okay, stop. And it was too late. And so I got drenched. He pointed the camera down and turned it off.
Yeah. Not only did he not call cut, but he didn't even he turned the camera
James,
off.
Yeah, I got-
what a scurb.
What a skirb.
All right.
Good times. Good times.
Trisha Lynn says, why haven't you guys gone to VidCon yet?
What's a VidCon?
VidCon is the YouTube con. She says, methinks the internet's longest running sketch comedy troupe has a place there. And then follow up, what YouTube celebs / vidders and bloggers would you want to cast in a sketch? And she also says what's sketchy about, but I don't know.
actually don't follow the YouTube.
Like we're not really,
Community,
yeah.
in
Like
quotations.
we're actually that tied into the YouTube. Like we post our stuff on YouTube, but we're not really tied into the YouTube community in terms of like, you know, interacting with other YouTubers or anything.
Yeah, like
we
it
just
seems
kind of
to-
do our own thing.
I'd want to get PewDiePie in a video strictly for views. I'm not even lying.
Just
I thought-
shameless plugging.
I thought you said PewDiePie for a second.
I'm sure he's never heard
Dear
that
PewDiePie,
one.
come do me a solid and I will put you in a video.
Please,
You get
please-
nothing out of it, but you get to work with me and I'm pretty
Would it
cool.
be kind of neat to find out that like PewDiePie is just really erudite and
I'm sure he is.
interesting in person?
He
and,
might be.
Like he just kind of really wants to talk about Socratic dialogues.
He's like, I mean,
You
I
and him
got
become like
popular.
best friends forever.
Yeah, I got popular being a loud Swede on YouTube, but he is Swedish, right?
I have no idea.
I think so.
I try not to like delve into people's backstories too much. It's a weird thing I have where I don't need
You're not
to
a stalker, is what you're saying.
I try not to know too much personal life details about celebrities because or like musicians because I figure that they're putting themselves out there because they want to share their artwork with me, not because they want me to know where they went to high school.
Yeah.
And so I don't care.
Yeah, like whatever's in your bio, that's what I'm comfortable knowing. Whatever you're comfortable sharing.
And I mean, sometimes, yeah, I mean, it can be relevant to the.
Well, I mean, if they
What
want to
they're
share
doing.
details, like they want to say this is like, you know, I do this kind of stuff because, you know, I had these experiences or, you know, I grew up in this kind of household. Like Margaret Cho is very open about sort of her background and like works that into her comedy and her experiences sort of as a minority, like I guess a double minority and all of that stuff. And that's fine because that's a part of what she does. I don't care what anybody's sexual orientation is if they don't make a big deal out of it. It never comes up. Right? That kind of thing.
It is largely irrelevant.
All right. Deuterium Ice says, "What's
good
what's the biggest thing that you've seen in D&D 5th edition for a weird / new idea? Like, what's the
A weird idea.
the weirdest thing you've
I
seen?
mean-
in
I mean,
50
the biggest-
5e?
I mean, the
I've
biggest
actually not played 5e.
change for me, like I'm currently in a Pathfinder / 3.5 game. And so the biggest thing for me is the advantage disadvantage system because to me, like, I feel like it makes it way sort of swingier than I'm used to and like, you know, normally it's like, okay, he's hidden or like he's hiding behind something. So you have, you know, -4 to hit him. But the difference between the advantage disadvantage system is very
Binary?
yeah, it's very binary and it's a very large when you have disadvantage on a move on a attack, it's huge, right? Like there's one I remember we were doing in the playtest we were doing a thing where we were fighting a guy who was invisible. And we like threw dust and stuff on him, so like we knew where he was. But even if you know where he is, you still have disadvantage because
Oh,
he's
God,
considered
yeah.
to have full cover or whatever.
Right.
And he was like a rogue, so he had pretty high AC anyway, or dexterity and stuff. And it was like we had like a 17 to hit him or something, right? And you figure out that if you have disadvantage and you need a 17 to hit a guy, it's something like 1.5% chance of hitting him, right?
Right.
Because you have a 15% chance of a 15% chance of hitting him. And so it can go like disadvantage can get you really fast. So that takes a little bit of getting used to, I find.
Oh, that's it. But there are ways around it. There's like, I believe I just unloaded about 1 million magic missiles into that guy's ass.
Yeah. So I mean, like it
Just his ass.
and also it goes both ways, right? You get advantage
Yeah.
as well. So it can be, I guess, swingier than I'm used to. So that takes a little bit of getting used to. But I like all the simplification stuff that they've done. I feel like that actually helps a lot.
All right, moving on. Just because I feel that Paul's the best to weigh in there. James Enright says, have you ever done a pan in and out that you realized in editing was the wrong direction? I'm going to say probably, but nothing springs to mind right now. But I'm sure at some point I've just gone and then fixed it.
I've often had to redo like whip in and out because I whipped the wrong way. For some reason,
we
I
try to keep
cannot
that
get it.
consistent.
Yeah, we always whip to the right, whip out to the right, and in from the left. Like,
It's like in from the left, out to the right.
yeah, but
And-
for some reason, I can never remember which way it goes. Like at the time when I'm
Yeah.
about to do it.
King Cool says, what system do you have the most games for other than PC, personally? I'm definitely going to say right now it's, personally, it's actually probably, I'm going to say the DS/3DS system. I guess that technically counts as two systems, except you can play DS games on a 3DS. And they're not technically that, I don't know. Maybe that or PS2. I've fucked on a PS2 games.
I've got my Mac Mini that has Steam.
Not
Yeah.
PC, other than PC.
I don't have any game systems.
Yeah,
I don't
me
have a
neither.
single one, which is weird.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
guess-
I own literally like 4 games for consoles. 1 is a PS2 and 3 are 360 games, so I guess 360 would be the thing, but
Yeah,
I'm certain I don't really own that many console games.
I guess at some point I'm going to have to buy Destiny, aren't I? So, 1?
Oh.
You anticipate 1?
Yeah, I'm going to need to buy a TV, though, and a PS4.
Maybe you can move in with somebody with a TV.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
it'll
that
come
would
out
be
for
useful.
PC eventually.
Toothpaste Laser says, given the current setup, can you record LRRcast with more than 4 people? We can have 5 people because we have 1 person on the board. But that's
Then
about
we start
max.
running out of microphones and
Yeah.
inputs.
And we also just space for space
Like
reasons.
if it was an emergency, and I don't know what sort of situation would precipitate this, but we have like 8 inputs for mics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, technically we could have a whole bunch of
It
stuff.
would be stupid.
And we could have and we've done the thing at least once now where with Skype on the coming in as well, which
Yeah, so it's like if
we
we have
may
to do
hopefully do that more.
an address to humanity at large, maybe 8 people.
All right. So, Daniel, codename Bowser, has a silly question. Why have we never seen Adam and James together? Adam and James are together all the time. They are like best friends. So
Yeah.
Just not in continuity, I guess.
I guess like we
Or
haven't
besides-
seen them. We've seen them in the same shots in like Commodore Hustle and
Yeah,
stuff.
they're in the very first run of Commodore Hustle.
Yeah.
They hung out together a fair amount because they were waiting in line for the new Diablo.
Yeah. Or was it the new... No, yeah, it was...
No, it was
I thought it was
Halo.
StarCraft 2.
Or
Maybe it
yeah,
was.
It was one of those games.
Yeah.
Some sort of Blizzard stuff.
JP Utilitarian, aka James, says, what would we have to do to see the return of the Fail House? Probably nothing, because it has been replaced by Feed Dump, its spiritual successor.
Strict upgrades.
I feel that each one has a slightly different character. I really like Feed Dump. Now this is gonna sound arrogant. I really like Feed Dump now that I'm editing it because I do a lot of weird stuff with the editing.
Yeah.
Like I do like recurring like jokes and callbacks that within the episode. Like
Yeah.
the most recent episode of Feed Dump, the more you know theme kept coming in.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's also like, you guys did pretty much everything that you wanted to do with Fail House, and like it's done. It's over. We're gonna do new stuff. It's like I don't like sometimes there's a precedent to like go back and revisit something, but a lot of times it's just like, what, that was a thing we did. It's complete. Next.
I think the main difference, I guess, with Fail House was it had more kind of segments, like sort of predefined, like, the whatever of the day, the something of the day, like more sort of predefined things as opposed to just, whereas Feed Dump is a little more free form.
Yeah. Sam, aka Corvus, says, what's the best business decision Lur has made and the worst? I'm going to say right now the worst
boy.
was being like, YouTube, I don't really see the point. That was really dumb. If I could go back in time and change something, I might change that. The best?
The best decision we made?
Probably moving to this office.
Yeah, like becoming a business, I guess, was a good decision. Yeah, moving the office when we did, because it was like that. It was just like a random thing where it was like, oh, we should probably start looking for a new office. Oh, wait, there's one available today. Oh, it's exactly in our price range and awesome. Let's just get that.
Yeah, that was all very
Kind of
good.
suspicious, actually.
It's stroke of phenomenal
now
luck.
that you mention it, yeah.
Jesper K. Wolgenmoth, aka
Wow.
Nice.
Jekawo, says, is there a stream that you would like to do but haven't No, you haven't done. Is there
Like
a game? Is there a game you'd like to stream but you haven't played yet? I would like to stream Hatoful Boyfriend.
I would also like to stream Hatoful Boyfriend.
Do you want to stream Hatoful Boyfriend together, Alex?
I do.
Okay,
like
we can each do voices.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Okay, done.
I'm pretty
Well, that was
sure.
easy.
I'm pretty sure Beej might have called that one.
Well,
There might
maybe
be some
maybe
sort
we
of
just, like,
mass.
dude, if we're gonna do a harem game, I don't think it actually is a harem game, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe we could just do that. That sounds hilarious. Because
Yeah,
I've
like-
never played a dating sim
Neither
or
have I.
or light or visual novel or anything like that.
Okay, I've heard a lot about that game in the last couple of weeks. What is it?
It's a dating sim with pigeons.
It's a
and
dating
apparently
sim,
the shit gets
but,
dark.
but they're all pigeons.
Yeah, you're at the pigeon school for some
You
reason.
were at the pigeon school.
They're
You're a
all-
human female
I'm-
who is at pigeon school.
I'm intentionally avoiding spoilers because
And
apparently
and they're not like anthropomorphic pigeons.
no, they're just literally pigeons.
like they're like when you first meet them, they actually are like photographs of pigeons.
Huh. Okay,
it seems pretty peculiar. It'll be like my sort
I'm
of
into this idea.
my
Yeah.
baptism
I think
by
I've bought into this.
I feel like because I play JRPGs on my stream, like that's like right up my alley. Anyhow, Hatoful Boyfriend, I want to play that. Cam,
more X.
Paul,
I mean, it's not out yet, but I really want to play the new Grim Fandango when it comes out, and I definitely would play that on stream.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Civ After Earth or Beyond Earth looks awesome. I'm really looking forward to that.
Excuse me.
But in
Nice.
like terms of games that are out, I don't know.
yeah. There's a couple of games that I want to play, but I'm not going to say them, so because they might just show up on my stream. But yeah, watch for the Hatoful Boyfriend mega stream coming probably pretty soon.
Or maybe you guys should actually like not stream it together, but just both stream it, so you have like
And
two
have
different
tracks.
perspectives
Yeah.
on Hatoful Boyfriend.
I don't think the world need that much of that game.
It'll be like Dark Souls all over again, only everybody's playing Hatoful Boyfriend. Oh dear.
All right, and last question from Dark Abyss Keeper, aka STE Harris. You get the chance to greenlight a video, game, TV show, or film of your choice. What do you want to see? So something that's been languishing in development hell, or something that you
Something
believe
that
needs to
actually
be
exists?
adapted into a film or a TV show or a movie or a game.
Jodorowsky's Dune.
Is it like? But don't you think it would not actually work?
It would probably be a complete disaster.
But it would
But
be a beautiful
Actually,
disaster.
no, it'd be rad.
Yeah,
No, just
well, I
no.
mean, like,
To
Actually, no. What you want is you green light it just so they can make another documentary about making it again.
you know
Yeah.
what? I'll follow up on that. The Thief and the Cobbler. Which I mean, the closest we've gotten to actually seeing what that movie really is this thing called the Recobbled Cut, which is a series of work prints and footage from the release to sort of assemble together into like the closest approximation of what that film was actually going to be. That would maybe be its own podcast if you've never heard of it, but it's just like one of these tragedies of animation.
I would love. I've often fantasized about a adaptation of the Stainless Steel Rat books by Harry Harrison, which I love. They're about a futuristic super criminal guy who's the idea. I love the thing. It's like back in the old days. There's lots of cracks in the in society that that rats could fit in through, but in the modern world with everything being controlled, you need a very, very tricky rat to fit through the cracks. You need the stainless steel rat. It's just they're like very sort of big sort of heists and all sorts of fancy gadgets and stuff. But it would totally work as like a movie or a TV show or something. So I would love to see that.
I would like to see an adaptation of Snow Crash, but not as a movie, because that would be a train wreck. There's too much stuff going on. I would like to see the team that did like the Ghost in the Shell TV show, like Second Gig
Right.
and stuff like that, do a Snow Crash adaptation, because I
it's
think
like,
that
As
would
like
be
an OIV?
as like a mini series or a series of OAVs or like a 13 episode TV show or something, because I think that would be just
like-
beautiful, just the right length to get all the intrigue and all that behind the scenes shit, properly addressed. I do not ever want to see that book as a movie though, because it would be awful.
yeah,
You get like the Netflix thing, right? Get the where they have like the whole chunk of stuff where they can do it all as one piece.
Can we have Madhouse animate it?
Yeah. Yeah, I want it to be animated too. I don't want it to be live action because there's
really?
the internet scenes, because there's a lot of internet scenes where they're inside like the club and stuff like that, would be fine if they were CG, but I think it would take away some of the specialness.
I mean, they're supposed to be CG.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is, unless the CG is really good, it would look bad. Right?
Well, I mean, like, I don't... And it would also have to take place in a very specific kind of time frame, too, because Snow Crash takes place in an alternate 1990s, by the feel of things, just from the age of the characters. And the fact that he, like, his roommate is the lead singer from Korn,
Yeah.
basically.
Wow.
Yeah, like, I feel like, because, yeah, there'd have to be this weird kind of nostalgia-ish thing about it, that it would be better to be animated than to be live action.
Well, I mean, like, a movie adaptation, or a filmed adaptation of Neuromancer, I think would have a lot of the same problems, right? Where it has to take place in, like, 1983, right?
I mean, it's like you could simulate that if it was the right team.
Yeah, but it's like, I feel with an anime, like if you were gonna do, it's not only just like the look of the thing. I really feel like I don't like it when they adapt books into movies for the most part, and especially books with a lot of like subtle things that pay off slowly over the course of the book, where stories unfold. Like there's the whole like sort of B plot in Snow Crash would not work to be getting an info dump before the last 20 minutes of the movie. But you could see that
because like a novel by its design takes its time to move through a lot of big
I mean, definitely,
ideas.
some sort of mini series type thing would be excellent.
So yeah, but a Japanese anime I think would be perfect.
Anime. I love anime.
But that's the last question, I think. I've been watching a
Alrighty.
lot of anime over the past past week or so.
Oh yeah.
I watched all of the Persona 4 animation that we had on hand.
You should watch Knights of Sidonia.
Yeah, it's actually totally sweet.
I would like it.
Yeah, I think you'd dig
Well,
it.
you might. You need to give it like 4 episodes to really find its feet.
And then
Alright.
if you're just like not into it, then drop it.
All
like
right.
it's hot.
I do like sci-fi.
Yeah, and it's like a very... It's a medium poached sci-fi. It's not like hard sci-fi.
Medium poach. That's a good one.
But it's got like sweet robot designs, and it kind of
I do like sweet robots.
It plays with a lot of the tropes.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I'll check it out. I'll watch some and
Definitely
see if I
worth
like it.
investigating.
I would
Cool.
watch it again if you ever just want to hang out.
All right.
Watch it.
Cam, let's be friends.
Yay.
All right. So with that delightful recoil, that is the last. I don't think we have any more questions, and I'm gonna if any more come in. Thank you so much for talking to us and for asking us all your questions. LRRcast will resume in a couple weeks. We'll probably take questions on Facebook or something. But until then, stay frosty.